Hi there everyone and welcome. Today is Wednesday the 21st of May 2025 and it is a Wednesday, but I was otherwise engaged yesterday, so I was unable to do my Tuesday Thoughts Tarot, so I thought I'd jump on here today and just give you a little reading. Just going to start shuffling the tarot, knock out the old energy and just give you a little reading to see what the energy is like. It was certainly an interesting read last week, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you didn't manage to get that one, you can always look back because there is still this length of meaning within a read, so it doesn't necessarily mean that was last week and it's over. It can still carry through and it might be affecting each of you at slightly different times of the month, so just to let you know that it might still be relevant. So it's a nice day here in London. I managed to get out and go for my walk this morning and did double lap of the park because I hurt my back. I hurt my back on Monday. I was changing my shoes at work and whatever way I turned, I pulled something in my back and it was really sore and just I couldn't move. And I had to go up a flight of stairs, and getting up that flight of stairs, it was like I was 80 years old. So yesterday I was at work as well, and I was moving very slowly, very carefully. But today I'm feeling much better. So I didn't go for my run, but I did go for a longer walk just to get the exercise in. And my back is feeling much, much better. And so one of the things I did was I created a ball of chi, or a ball of white energy, a ball of energy. And I consciously put that in my body and moved it to the areas, allowing it to heal. It's a bit like what I do with distance healing, because the intention is I connect with the person, me in this case, and I'm able to manipulate the energy and move energy and offer this healing energy. So for me, consciously, I was creating a ball of chi and putting it in around my lower back, around my buttock, around my leg, and back up to my spine, my tailbone, all around that area, and moving this ball of chi. And this ball of chi was healing and helping to bring my body back into balance. And I have to say, it is so much better now. I can move a lot more. There's still a point where I go, I can't quite bend to that level, because I can feel the little pull, but it is so much better. So what I want to do is do a little meditation for you, which is going to be about this ball of chi, or ball of light, which anyone can do. So if you have an area of injury, or an area that's causing you pain, or if you have an illness, or if you have even a tummy bug, whatever is happening to you right now that you would like a bit of healing energy to, you can do it yourself. You can just imagine this ball of energy and move it round. But I'm going to kind of channel a nice little meditation which incorporates this procedure, but then you can use it. I'm going to put it free on YouTube. So whenever you're feeling like you've got, an ache or something is, I'm getting twitch, so maybe a twitch. But, if anything is kind of every time you move, it just pulls a little, or muscular, or even something that's a little bit more serious, you can still use this ball of chi and send it to the area and have it working away. Now, all I did was throughout my workday yesterday was consciously come back to where it is and maybe move it a little and let it do its thing. So you're trusting that it has its own intelligence and that it is healing this area. And then you're getting on with your day, you're busy, and occasionally just bring your conscious mind back to this ball of chi working away, healing, and just maybe move it to a different area, maybe, see how it's feeling, and then just let it go and let it do its thing. Because actually, it works. I'm so much better today. And I know the common prescription or response is take painkillers. Have you taken painkillers? And I'm like, no, there's no need for me to take painkillers. It's sore because it's been pulled out of position, so I have to be careful about where I move to. I don't want to get rid of the pain and then move again into something that's causing more damage, so I want to be aware of the pain, but also I just don't want to blank it out. I want to heal it. What's the point in taking a painkiller and it's still sore tomorrow? So I wanted to heal it. I wanted to consciously use what I know, what I do as a healer. I'm an energy healer, a Reiki master, and I've done Tai Chi for years and years, so I know about using this energy, and it's made it so much better. Not 100% yet, but literally 24 hours, massive difference. So I will be doing that later, just to let you know. Right, I'll get on with the tarot, shall I? And we'll see what the tarot wants to tell us. We'll see what messages it wants to bring through. Last week I did record a channel for you, and it was a really nice one as well, to have come out. So there's this one and this one. It was a really nice channel, and for some reason it hadn't recorded, or if it recorded it, it went somewhere funny. So I'm sure I was recording while I was channeling, but it's one of these things. And so we'll try and do a little channel for you later as well. Okay, I'm just going to tell you what comes so we can get on with the read. So on the underneath we have the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles can be to do with work. There's obviously money here. Pentacles are all about money, but there is an element of work here, working in a building with other people, maybe like an office building or a hospital or a business with there's more people. So it really is telling us about work, but it's also telling us that we have scaffolding here. So something is not quite complete, something is not built to its end. It is still work in progress, as they say, a bit like all of the things that I have in my mind that I want to create. It's like work in progress. So the underlying energy is something to do with work, how we work, how we earn our money, and something is happening within that is not finished yet, that has not come to completion yet. Okay, so 4 cards I don't know. The 3 cards I do know are the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups, I'm not sure which way to sit, this way I think today. The Two of Cups is romance. So this is soulmate. So this is someone coming in to offer a cup of love. So we have within this courage, we have the lion here with the angel wings. So the lion is all about Leo, courage, it's the heart. Leos are very much open of the heart, they're very much centered in the heart, they're all about heart love. So someone is offering you a cup of love. So are you going to take it? There is something interesting in this card in that he has this cup of love and he's taking her cup. So she is offering it, but he seems to be taking her cup and she is receiving his, but he's still holding on to his. So it is sort of a little bit of a dynamic of, be mindful of somebody taking more from you, because they haven't quite given her his cup yet. But his clothes, they're full of roses here. So there's this romantic element. There's this sort of date night. There's the early stages of a romance, this romance building, soulmate energy, love. So it's a couple coming together. So there's love on the horizon here for whoever we're reading this for, and it's a bit of a journey you're going on. You're going to go through this new doorway of love. Next we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords can be an air sign because swords are air. So you're looking at Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. And the Queen of Swords is a little bit cut off from her emotions. She can be a little bit cold, a little bit manipulative, a little bit cutting with what she says. But she is very much receiving higher intellect. She's very much receiving from the higher and trying to ground all this intellect into the earth. But there is a sense with the Queen of Swords that she can be just a bit frosty. So there might be someone in your life who is a bit frosty, or there might be something occurring in your life where there is that just coldness, detached sense. So just let's be mindful of that as we go further. I'm going to go through this quite quickly and not get too involved in everything. And then we have the King of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles, so perhaps this relationship, these two people coming together, is the King and Queen. So this is someone who has very much connected to her higher energies, to the higher, and she's drawing that energy through to the earth, but she has been cut off. She has cut herself off from any emotion. She has cut herself off from any feeling, and she has been much more about the mind and learning and expanding her mind, perhaps for this length of time. But she's meeting the King of Pentacles, who is someone who's successful, someone who's built business, someone who's learned a lot, grown a lot. He has this wealth behind him. He has these homes, these castles, everything that he has built. So he's worked a long time to get to this point. He has saved. He has, from the foundations up, he has the vines here, which are growing from the foundations up, and they're bringing forward these grapes. So he's reaping the fruit. Very much of the earth, very much work, very much money, very much established. So this is someone perhaps who has gone through life and created business, worked hard. It's like bit by bit by bit, learned the whole system and dynamic of business, but has achieved a great deal of success because of the work that they've put in. And it's not like they don't enjoy the work they do. He's got the grapes all over his clothes, so it's making me think it's almost like he's a brand. He's his own brand. He's his own businessman. He's his own CEO. He carries, the fruits of the vines. He's expressing it in his clothing. So it could be to do with a brand on your clothing as well. But you are successful, and there is this dedicated work ethic. The thing with the Pentacles as well, because this is often Capricorn kind of energy. Capricorn energy is kind of slow, so it's slow moving, but you get there. But it's kind of, some people are very, very quick to a point, but this is slow and steady. So with the Queen, she's more possibly mind quick, whereas he is more earth, slow. So that's interesting as well. So we've got 4 other cards that we don't know what they are. So I still don't know what they are because they're up on the backs. I can only see the backs. So let's have a look. Okay. So we have the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is that card of patience, card of hanging around, waiting for things to happen, waiting for things to move. So I might see this in a slightly different way as well when we revert back to the work. But this is, you have been patiently waiting. And during this period of waiting for things to come together for you, you've gained a great deal of experience. You've learned a lot from life. Life has taught you. And maybe not having the proper support that you had needed meant that you had to dig deep and do a lot of it on your own. You had to survive. You perhaps were in difficult positions throughout your life. But what it's telling you is to change how you look at it. Look at it like learning. Look at it like valuable learning. Like everything that you've gone through, even the sticky bits, have taught you something. And it enables you then to flip what comes next, to change how you look at it. So whatever difficulty is coming up, you've got to change how you're looking at it. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. So perhaps you're coming into a lot of money, which would be wonderful. And you've been waiting for this. You've been waiting for this period of wealth to come forward for you, to support you, to give you that support that we see with the trees and the Hanged Man. So you want that steadiness, that support. So perhaps we had this last week and we felt a bit like we were here and we were moving up. Perhaps now we're at the top. Perhaps we have done that lottery and we have won that money. And we have changed the cycle. So this is a new cycle. This is sort of taking a risk on something. So we don't know how it's going to work out, but you sometimes have to just take a little bit of a risk, take a gamble on something. And it is a bit scary to do that. It is like, oh my God, what if it falls flat on its face? What if it doesn't work out? But then what if it does? Because it's just leveled you up to a different space and a different you're different because you stepped forward, but also people see you different because you stepped forward in some way. So this is the Wheel of Fortune, and it moves in a way that brings money. So perhaps you were feeling that you weren't receiving the money, but the Wheel of Fortune being brought in again this week means perhaps we're moving to receive a little bit more of the money. And then we have the Seven of Cups, and there's a lot going on in your mind now. You're feeling a bit overwhelmed. You've got all of these choices to make, and it is classic. You walk through your day, and especially now with social media, you want to be involved in that type of thing and that type of thing and that type of thing. You want to have this. I mean, it's the same for me. There's so many things that I want to create and get out there into the world, but where do you get the time and the money and the motivation to fill all of your life full of these different things? So there's so many things grabbing your attention, and then you can end up dreaming about that but not making any of it real. Sorry, there's alarms going off. It's not new. These things happen a lot in London. But there's a period of self-reflection, we would say. There's a reflection in the water. So there needs to be some self-reflection about the choices that you're making, about the choices that you have, about how to prioritize. There's a lot of options coming up for you here. But in the same way, it can be distractions coming up for you. And then you can imagine, like, we talk about things, everything now is held in the cloud, right? So everything is held in the cloud. So are your hopes and dreams like in the clouds? Is everything like just up in the air right now? These are all in your thoughts, because we had the Queen of Swords earlier, and you can see the clouds here with her as well. So it's bringing back that element of air, that with the water. Now the cups are water, so there's emotion here. There's emotion and overwhelm, I feel. And there's emotion attached to all of these different things that you're thinking about, and they're pulling on your heart. But what we see at the end of it is the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles can often be a new study. So someone who's going to do a course, someone who's going to study something new, and there may be an exchange of money because you have to pay and buy the course. You have to study for a while, so you're sowing these seeds, sowing these little shoots, so eventually that they grow and they bring you money and harvest, so you can reap the harvest from this. And we've got the little bunny here, so something around springtime, because we want to sow now so we reap usually in autumn, so we sow a lot of things now so they spring up in the summer. We've got all those summer things, but then we have to understand that then they will die away and there'll be that autumnal, and then they'll start to burst through again. They'll burst through again in springtime. So I think this possibly is springtime, but because it's got the pentacle as well, it brings me back to this pentacle. So it is, and perhaps he's going to spend 2 of these. So he's got 3 here, and these are money, and he's going to maybe spend the 2 pentacles on some sort of new study, some business, something that he wants to invest in, which leaves him with 1, and this is the one that he wants to grow. So let's look at this a little bit more like a work element, because we did have the work card first. So let's see what it tells us about work. So we have work. So it's something to do with work, and it's something to do with this relationship, your work relationship. You're giving a lot of yourself, and work is happy to take it. And work maybe gives you a little bit, but doesn't quite give it to you. So it keeps you kind of hooked in, but not fully giving back to you in the same way that you give so much to your work. And then we had the Queen of Pentacles. So this is perhaps that division, that cutoff. Someone's happy to dictate, someone who is happy to not emotionally connect, someone who is happy to have that separation, and can be quite cold about it. It can be quite could be contracts and legal aspects. The sword is the expression, the communication, the contract, the written word, the spoken word. So just be mindful of what gets said with regards to work. And it might be to do with someone who is the owner, or someone who has built the work, someone who has worked over time to build great empire through their dedication and through their grit and building over years, gradually adding to it. So each vine is added to, and he is very much an expression of this business. And you feel a little bit in limbo. You feel a bit like you're hanging around. You feel like you're unsure of your position. Your position may be uncomfortable at the moment. You may feel as if, although he's not struggling here, so there is a level of almost pacified kind of presence is coming to mind. So it's just hanging around. You're just doing what you're doing, but you do feel a little bit turned the wrong way round. You feel maybe a little bit unsupported, or perhaps a little bit chained to this scenario, because this scenario is your support. And then we had the Wheel of Fortune, but things are changing. Things are moving in the right direction for you. So Fortune, by it coming in now, it's telling us that perhaps things are going to get better. Perhaps you're going to find yourself on top of the wheel. Perhaps there's some money coming in for you in some way. And then what do you do with that? So you have won the lottery, and you've got all of these ideas that you're emotionally attached to. What do you do with it? What do you do when things move in your favor? And she can't see it quite yet, but things are moving in her favor. So where does she put her attention? Because she is going to suddenly have all of these opportunities. And it may mean a new venture. It may mean investing in yourself in some way. So starting something, because he's quite young and blushed. There's a level of this being young. The page is young. So this is the start of something. So it's not fully grown. It's not fully established. But whatever wealth comes in for you, you're going to have to narrow down where you want to put your money, and then put your money in there. Put your time in there. Put your work ethic in there. So that's an interesting one. That's the tarot. And we're just going to go quickly to the devil's on the back. So you do feel chained to something at the moment, but it might be that there is a release for you. So let's see what these cards say. These are beautiful. Divine Abundance by Tosha Silver. And they're very nice cards because they just give us a very instant message. So let's see what they say about this read. Hope you're all well. Welcome to the new watchers, and hello to my regular crew. Really good to have you here. Really nice to see you watching. I love looking at the little numbers and say, oh, someone else has watched it. So do share it as well with your friends, and don't hesitate to leave a comment if you agree or if you find it beneficial. Or as well, I do private readings, so you can get in touch with that. So let's do these cards. If you don't give me one, I'll just take one off the top. So give us clarification, thank you. And can I have one more team, please? One more, just to back up that. Thank you. That's turned over. So the first card is Inner Child. Okay, and you can see she's all wrapped up here like a embryo, like a fetal position. So that's very much going back into that child. So is this bringing some inner child as essence or elements to the fore? So it says, allow me to give compassion and love to that little one. Let me attend to its deepest needs and feelings. So this is probably going to perhaps be an element of self-care and self-love, standing up for self, but also knowing that perhaps you're feeling a little bit sensitive during this period. Perhaps you're feeling like this is an element of the child often feels powerless. So in this situation, is there a sense of feeling powerless, feeling like authority has power over you? And so in that sense, we can almost revert back to a childhood behavior. We can refer back to, or return back to, how do I get out of this situation? What do I do? And so we must allow not to berate that child and not say, I'm so silly for feeling this way, and why do I feel this way, and why am I not stronger, or etc., etc. Well, it's inner child issues. It's stuff that happened to you when you were young. And you need to show compassion to that young child and attend to its deepest needs and feelings. So respecting those feelings that are coming up. So all kinds of situations in our work life can bring up feelings and elements for us to address, because everything in life is about healing. So even if you're in a position in your work life where it's uncomfortable, or it's asking too much of you, or the dynamic is gone a bit funny, these are all elements of learning, and then it brings up these things within you to address. And a lot of that is childhood trauma, childhood wounding, and the cycles repeat in order that you can then go and heal what is necessary. Like I said, once you kind of say something, if, say for example, you're standing up for yourself, you're different because you've just done it, but those around you are different because you've just done it. So that this a simple little thing can be a transformation in healing this inner child wound. And that's where we're going. We need to heal these inner child wounds so we can fulfill our needs and feelings, so we can address what we need to do for healthy boundaries. The inner child, the womb, the fetus is in the womb. So we need to make sure our boundary is healthy, that we feel healthy within our situation. And the next card is grounded. It's quite beautiful, isn't it? And it's a calf, isn't it? I think once upon a time maybe I thought it was a goat, but I think it's a calf. And it's a white calf, which almost brings me to that buffalo, white buffalo. So that purity, that innocence, very much nature, because it's grounding to nature, isn't it? So the animals, the birds, the butterflies, the foliage here, very much of Mother Nature, very much grounded. And this is where you create your wealth in the physical world, but you also get a lot of support from the physical world. It says, many of the most evolved beings on earth are regular folks living with joy, dignity and courage. And so this is it. If it is just a regular job, but you're having some incident within it, this is regular folks living on earth in their regular situation, but it's asking you to be a bit courageous. It's knowing that you do want to live in joy, you do want to live in dignity, and sometimes you have to be a bit courageous to express yourself, but feeling that grounding, feeling that earth energy. And the King of Pentacles is all about grounding, is all about earth. And in a sense, maybe it's saying, take your ideas, which is the download from Spirit, take those ideas, and before you get overwhelmed with them, so it's work that you're in progress with, and something you love. So Two of Cups can be something you love. So you've got these ideas, but you haven't made it real. You're trying to bring them down to this red cushion here. You're trying to ground these ideas into nature, into earth, into the physical world. You're trying to build a business. You're trying to grow something. You're trying to grow a brand. You're trying to make it support you in your life with wealth, but work that you enjoy. And yeah, it's taken a while to get here. You've had to be patient to get to this point. But we're going to change this now, and you're going to turn the right way round, because you're turning the right way round. You're turning from the lower, and you're moving up to this position now. And this position is making you focus in on which opportunity you want to take. Self-reflection, focus in on which opportunity. And this might be digital. Like I said, it might be in the cloud. It might be something that you then, everything is moving to, like TikTok shopping, Instagram shopping, online shopping. That's going to be the way of the future. Everyone's talking about it. So it's this something that you're going to have in the cloud, in the ether, in the digital realm, perhaps. And it's the beginning. So you're going to be sowing all of these seeds, and you're going to tend to them, and you're going to water them, and you're going to watch them grow. There may be a period of time, like springtime, that it'll come to fruition, and you might have had to invest a little in it. We went from the 3 of Pentacles to the 1, so we invested 2 of our Pentacles, some of our money, but it left us with this 1 coin, which we're happy to grow. And like the inner child in the embryo, again, it's the page, it's the baby. This is your baby. This is what you're growing. I'm like this much more. This is what you're growing. But the other side is relevant too. It's almost like they're 2 sides which are coming together to make this the truth. But it's grounded. And this is, through this everyday activity, you're evolving, you're learning, you're growing, you're sharing, you're teaching. So there must be a level of respect. And with all these butterflies, this is a transformational period for you. And see what's on the bottom. Reframe. So that's what's on the bottom. So these butterflies are going to bring these gifts to you. It says, this is happening for me, not to me. So whatever you're kind of going through, even if it is a sticky situation with expressing yourself, having the courage to stand up for this element that you want to create, it's happening for me, not to me. So even if something goes against you and you have to have courage to stand up against it, that's building courage within you. And that's building a structure and a framework which you will then use again. Maybe you didn't have that when you were young, but it's teaching you that you can do it. The world is not going to fall apart. Last week we had God is in charge, and that's it. You have to have faith. You have to have faith and trust that this will not turn into a nightmare scenario, let's say. That you will that you will get some success out of this. So we'll just do Archangel Michael again and see what he says about this. So Archangel Michael, can we have some information on what is happening with this scenario to help the people who are watching? Oh gosh, that's so many. That is far too many. Can't take all of those. Let's try it again. So, are you there, Michael? Okay. Keep your eyes on your targeted intention. So this was it as well. We went from the 7 of Cups, and we went to this, choice, all these opportunities, and then you're having to decide which one you want to go forward with. Keep your eyes on the targeted intention, sending your energy forward, almost by striking that bow and arrow, pulling it back and sending that arrow forwards towards what you want. So thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me focus on my inner vision and intention. I ask for your guidance in releasing any fears or doubts, granting me the confidence and courage to take action towards realizing my dreams. So there we have confidence, courage, releasing the doubts, and then taking that action, however small, but having the courage to take that little action, because that helps you move forward. That helps you move towards that direction. That's just another thing. It was like when I was trying to build my website, etc. At the very beginning, you have to kind of write what you want to write on there. And it's still work in progress as well, because I've just changed it over and I'm kind of tweaking things, so it's not quite fully formed yet, but it is back up and running. obviously I had to write the things out first. So I might write the bit about me, I might write the bit about Art Shift, I might write the bit about Cosmic Conversations. But it was all done now here and there and there and there. It wasn't all done in one big fell swoop. So you might say, oh, that's nice. You know, if I needed that, I have that written. And then it comes down to it and you go, oh, I've already written that. Or you might do something ahead of time. It's like painting. Sometimes, you know, as an artist, I will just want to paint for me. So I paint and I paint and I paint. And then all of a sudden I'll get this piece of information through that there's an exhibition opening up here. There's something happening here, and I have a body of work to bring. Because if I hadn't done that for myself, then I wouldn't have any work ready. So you get these inspirations where you're making just movements towards something, even if they're small. By doing that, suddenly an opportunity opens up as well. So help me focus on my inner vision and intention. I ask for guidance, releasing any fears and doubts. And I said that you have to have the trust, you have to have the faith that you will be okay. Granting me the confidence and courage to take action towards realizing my dreams. And that's what Michael is saying as well. It's there is something you're moving to, and we are asking for help with that. But Michael wants us to say, just keep going for it. So what else would you like us to know, Michael? Excuse me. I had to have dropped out. So we have Be Gentle with Yourself, which is a nice card with the lamb. We have again with the animals, the farm animals here. Maybe I'll be buying a farm, who knows. We've got the lamb here. It's the Lamb of God. Take away the sins of the world. Have mercy on us. It's this Archangel Michael. Please guide me in treating myself with gentle, nurturing love in everything I think, speak, and do. Help me know that I deserve this compassion. I release any feelings of guilt to you so that I may experience lasting inner peace. So while you're going through this transition, you need to know as well that you need compassion. That yes, it can be fine trying to be strong and able to do these things and move in this direction, but you also need to look after yourself. You also need to have compassion for yourself. You also realize that, you know, there are things that you're going to think, you're going to say, you're going to do. And we want to know to love ourselves through it all, because we're not the expert yet. And we're just moving through it. But there is this sense, look at his head. He's looking up with so much faith and trust. He's really trusting in the divine to help him through. And it's reminding us to be gentle to us, because the world can be hard to us. The world does not take into account our feelings and emotions and our wants and needs. So it can be quite cold, like the Queen of Swords. It can be quite abrasive, is the word I'm looking for. So we have to nurture ourselves, because we are up against that, you know, sharp world. And it's too much for some people. They can't handle the world sometimes. And people get sick because of the world we live in and the way we live. And no one seems to want to change the world that we're in. We need to change the world that we're in. We need to change how we live. We need to change people's way they are, the way they're being, how they're living, our environments. Everything needs to change. And then we've got to take your time making this decision. So we do have something on the horizon. We do have something we're moving to. We do have these choices, these options up in the cloud, in our mind. Where do we focus our intention? So keep targeted on that intention, but also take your time. That can be the hanged man as well. It's patience, waiting. So not ready to jump into anything just yet. Weighing things up, you know, just taking a moment to think things over. So this is saying, take your time making this decision. Archangel Michael, please help me stay strong and relaxed. As I approach this situation, remind me to detach and step back and allow the situation to unfold naturally. Thank you for protecting me. So we thank Archangel Michael for bringing his energy in and protecting us during this moment. But also that we had to detach, and we had that last week as well. We had the wishing well, where you throw in your coin for the wish. I'm going to sneeze, bear with. Apologies, you didn't need to see that. That was a big sneeze. But we had the wishing well, where you threw in your coin, and then you're not sitting there waiting for the wish to come true. You forget about it. You walk away from the wishing well. So there's a sense of, be relaxed during this. Detach from it. Whatever the outcome is, does it really matter? What matters is your growth in this moment. What matters is that you feel protected. What matters is that you're gentle with you. Whatever's happening, that you're nurturing yourself. This is very much self-care. So whatever situation you're going through, it's reminding you about self-care. Just bear with me 1 second. Apologies for that. I just had to blow my nose because that sneeze was... It could be the perfumey incense I'm burning, which is white sage. But it's a little bit more perfumed. But that's lovely. That's Archangel Michael. So now I want to go, because there's a lot of nature, there's a lot of animals here, I want to go to the totems. So let's see what totem we get for the week ahead. So I think, the ultimate thing I'm getting is self-care first. Come to it from balance. Come to it from... somebody jumped out. Come to it from balance. Come to it from regulating, making a step, but then possibly just regulating again and seeing how the world reacts. This is all about learning about your energy. Okay, now I'm getting it. So you're learning about your energy, what energy you hold, and what steps you can take forward, and how you let the world, which is an energetic existence, respond to you, and then how you manage your energy in that response, and then how you buoy up your energy again, strengthen your energy, and step forward again, and see how the world responds to you. So it's all about energy exchange. It's this yin-yang symbol, so you're like playing with the energy, but very much in control of your own energy, very much maintaining your balance. And it doesn't mean that you won't get emotional at times and you won't have difficult things to think about and decisions to make. Of course you will. But if you can do it by keeping energy balanced, centered, peaceful, this is non-combative. This is simply exploration in a way. You're exploring what this would mean and how this feels. So it's an exploration. It's feedback. You get feedback, you get information. Not to take it personally. Don't take it as a slight on yourself, but rather have compassion for yourself. Let's see what animal we get. So that's a blank. So that can be anything you want. So if you have a particular power animal yourself, this is a reminder to connect with your own power animal. So I could pick any animal, but I will go and choose again from the deck because I just love... Okay, can we have... There's too many. All these animals want to take part. Can we have a totem, please, to match and support this read? Give us the thumbs up. Give us a like if it helps. Hopefully it's another sort of way of looking at something, because we can feel quite bruised by the world. So this might help give you another way to look at it. Okay, so we did have two jump out, and this one I know, the blue heron, is that self-reflection, so that's interesting. And anytime you see a blue heron, we have a blue heron that comes to the park near me. So it's always amazing that you're just walking through the park and there's this beautiful blue heron there. But it just reminds me of that self-reflection. And we also have the owl, which is wisdom, and I think it can be deceit as well. So let me just read those two. Now I won't read everything because it's quite a bit on each one, but I'll read a little. 45 blue heron. So yeah, like, share, subscribe. So Heron asks that you examine yourself with a cold eye to see what you wish to improve and how you want to change. If you get stuck in the process, it may be a sign that you're being too hard or too critical, and that's where the self-compassion comes in. Choosing to blame others and constantly pointing a finger at life situations instead of claiming responsibility for your actions shows that you lack the courage to face the enemy within. Interesting. Heron medicine people are willing to look at themselves and see the truth of their motives, actions, feelings, dreams, goals, inner strengths, and inner weaknesses. In balancing those truths, Heron's medicine shows you how to meet the challenges of your personal weaknesses and how to continue developing the skills that lead to inner strength and certainty of purpose. Perhaps this is it. Perhaps there is a weakness within you with regards to your work situation, and this is asking you to look at who you are, like I was saying about your energy. So your motives, actions, feelings, dreams, goals, inner strengths, inner weaknesses. What is your energy made up of? And then to develop the skills by learning, because it's feedback. So develop skills from that feedback that you get. Don't take it personally. It's just an energetic reflection in a sense. Are you willing to dive into the watery depths of your own feelings and discover the role of your spiritual essence? So that's taken to the spiritual level. Now, Heron is calling you to delve deeper, to know yourself and trust your path. Like the phoenix who rises from its own ashes, Heron emerges from the unseen world of spirit into a new balanced sense of self in order to embrace its potential again and again. The magnificence of your human spirit lies waiting for the joy of discovery if you are courageous enough to follow the water bird throughout the journey. Heron reminds you that every traveller on life's journey is a messenger, and that every destination is the beginning of a new cycle on the medicine wheel. And we had the Wheel of Fortune earlier, so that's interesting as well. So it seems to be about whatever step you're taking, whatever movement you're making, it's allowing you to know yourself on this deeper level, but also you develop your personal strength or your ambitiousness or your desire to move forward in some way. You're developing that, you're getting to know yourself, and then trust that that path that you feel you're drawn on is where you're going. It's like this sense of self, knowing yourself, self-care. What is it you need? What is it you want? Really getting to know who you are and where you want to move to, because there is this transformation within it for sure. I love that. Beautiful, beautiful card. And then we have the Owl, 21. Oh, it is deception. So I would have had it as wisdom, but it's interesting here it's deception. So let's see what it says. Owl is often the medicine of sorcerers and witches. If owl is your medicine, you will be drawn to magical practices and perhaps to explore the dark arts. You should resist any temptation to practice black magic or any art that takes energy away from another person and being. And so this is maintaining your, what is the word I'm looking for? You have to be careful what you're putting out into the world. You have to be careful to avoid black magic. You cannot try and manipulate another. You cannot try and pull the wool over another's eyes. You cannot try and create that chaos just so that you're in favor. There's something dark about that kind of blackmail or manipulation or just be mindful of how you are, how you're treating people. If you have owl medicine, these night birds will have a tendency to collect around you, even in the daytime, because they recognize kinship with you. Owl is a symbol for wisdom, because owl can see what others cannot, which is the essence of true wisdom. Where others are deceived, owl sees and knows what is there. And that's it too. Once you're aware of your energy and you are engaging, let's say, in a discussion with someone and who is a representation of the outer world, or the world is feeding back to you in some way, you're able to tell if it's truth or not. You're able to tell if someone is pulling the wool over your eyes. So this is where the deception comes in. Perhaps someone else is engaging in something that is manipulative, that is not quite positive, holy, good. Perhaps there is some sort of deceit held within this, but you'll be aware. You might know already. You might know that there is a little bit of darkness. You might have psychic senses. So although you have to go through the performance of this meeting or this integration or whatever you're going through, you actually know what's behind it all. If you have psychic senses, if you have an intuition, and you'll know what you hear, and you'll know what is expressed, and you'll know what is fed back to you, and you'll know whether it's truth or whether it's deception. So that's why it's really important to understand your own energy. So it says, Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom, had a companion owl on her shoulder, which revealed unseen truths to her. If you have owl medicine, personal medicine, no one can deceive you about what they are doing, no matter how they try to disguise it or hide it from you. You may be a little frightening to be around, since so many people have ulterior motives, which you might see through. And this is it, you can see through stuff. You have that psychic vision. You're able to see the deception, but it's not necessarily obvious. It's not necessarily something you can express straight away. You have to be very wary of your situation, but understand that you're moving into that awareness of self. You're moving into that self-realization. You're moving into that different phase, but it's self-nurturing, it's self-care. So be mindful of what others are trying to impose perhaps onto you. People can label you. That doesn't mean it's correct label. You need to know who you are and what you are. So it says, no one can deceive you about what they are doing, no matter how they try to disguise or hide it from you. You may be a little frightening to be around, since many people have ulterior motives. If you are unaware of your medicine power, you may take your keen insights and abilities for granted. Others never do. You may frighten them and reflect their blindness, for you cannot be fooled. Owl medicine people know more about an individual's inner life than that person knows about herself or himself. And that is difficult when you are psychic. You get a lot of information. I think I've said this before, what people are saying is not necessarily what their energy is saying. And if you're tuned in, you pick that up straight away. You might not necessarily call that out, because you'll be calling it out all the time, because people are quite deceptive. You're being asked to use your powers of keen, silent observation to intuit some life situation. Owl is befriending you and aiding you in seeing the total truth. Owl can bring you messages in the night through dreams or meditation. Pay attention to the signals and omens. The truth always brings further enlightenment. So this would make me just think, be a little bit wary. So do that self-reflection. Do discover more about who you are, like we had through the whole read. But just be aware of the motives of others. And so you're sitting there and you make a choice to move forward in a certain way, and the world responds in a certain way. But if you are aware of your energy, you'll understand what that response is, and you'll know deep in your soul, in your bones, if that is a truth or if there's a manipulation occurring. So just be on the alert for people who are manipulating you. Be on the alert for people who are saying things that, people can praise you, but there might be something underneath. It might not feel truthful. It might not feel pure. So I'm going to do one more card from the Auset Egyptian deck, just because I love this deck. And I find the card's very beautiful, but also powerful. And I've got a few minutes left. I hope this is recording. I have got battery power, but it seems to be going a little bit funny here, but I'm sure that's fine. So can I have one card? Okay. We got Air Spirit, which brings me back to the Queen of Swords, and it's Imset, number 18. So 8 and 1 is 9. 9 is completion. So something is possibly completing. So this is Imset. So let's see what the Air Spirit has to tell us. 18. And then that'll be this is our finishing card, bringing everything together. And Imset is one of the 4 disciples or sons of Horus, ruled the vital canopic funerary jar that contained the liver of the mummy. So lots of different parts and different things were encased in these jars in the tombs, and so this one encased the liver. So that's interesting, because the liver gets toxic and needs detoxification. The liver is also associated with anger. So is there something that you're angry about right now? Is there something that you feel is unfair? With the face of a man, he signifies conscious choice in this life. Interesting. What are you choosing? What's your choice? What's your targeted intention? Imset and the 3 other sons of Horus were also involved in ceremonial magic, alchemy, and healing. So from Imset, he says, I lead the 4 magic genii, for I am Imset, leader of the Breathlin. That's good. Somebody's touching my face. As I come from the West, I tell you to seek to make careful choices in life in accordance with the law of Mat, and that's the law of fairness. For these will influence the health of your body, your liver, and your eternal life. Avoid too much alcohol, because that affects the liver as well, and ask me to give you magical healing of your body and mind. And its meanings are, if you cease to worry and meditate more, you will achieve financial success. Okay, newsflash, if you cease to worry and meditate more, you will achieve financial success. In work, it's time for conscious choices to be made to ensure future satisfaction with your career path, which I think is in alignment with the read. Health, your air element is out of balance. Too many thoughts and not enough action can cause you stress, possible liver problems, so avoid alcohol and other toxins. And it's really important, I think, when you're moving forward in a new direction, when you're thinking of creating something new in your life or moving into just maybe feeling a little bit better about your life, cut out the alcohol. It is a toxin, it is a poison, and your body, you're not fully in alignment with it. You know, a glass of wine is nice here or there, but actually it diminishes your energy. So we want to fill you up with chi, we want to fill you up with light, with possibility. Family, you're called to take on a position of strong leadership in the family, but try not to worry too much about them all. It can be difficult, can't it? And your future success depends on your ability to quiet your mind before making choices. Your future is open to change still. So we are open to change. There is something coming in, but we want to do it from the place of compassion, from the place of self-care, from a place of meditation, of quiet awareness, of knowing what others' energy is and what your energy is, and how you can replenish your energy. You don't need another to value you. You value you first. If another doesn't value you, they're missing out. So put so much into you through meditation, through self-care, through detoxing. Be aware of your liver, be aware of what that is for you. That anger, if it rises, when it rises, But I hope that has helped. I hope it's brought some clarity. Certainly I found it useful. And give me a thumbs up, a like and a share. Subscribe to the channel, it really helps. And do share it with your friends as well. But I hope that's helped. I found it interesting. So blessings, take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye.